couldn't even reach the play-in tourney with a trio consisting of LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, and Anthony Davis. It's shocking that we're even here. There's going to be a lot to discuss this offseason, and one topic already circulating around is the future of Anthony Davis as a Laker. But Davis emphasized after the team's loss to the Suns on Tuesday that he doesn't concern himself with hypothetical trade scenarios, saying, I don't think they're planning on doing anything with me. I don't know. So we've got Shea here with us in studio. And with that being said, and the incredible bad ending to what was considered the team with one of the best odds not to just make the playoffs, but to potentially win it all, Shea.
Yes?
Can the Lakers' big three still work?
I think they can, but there needs to be more attention as to how it's going to happen. Over the last few days, we've been talking a lot about the comments made by LeBron James and what he's going to do during this offseason. And what he needs to do is focus on how him and Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook can make this thing go. Also, AD obviously needs to stay healthy. This is a lot of ifs. I feel like that's been kind of the theme of the morning here, if ifs actually come to fruition. But Anthony Davis and LeBron James have already proved that they can win a championship. This is not new information. But how can they now add Russell Westbrook into the fold? Russell Westbrook was not bad at the end of the season. He actually played pretty good. But because of what we had seen previously, we constantly put the onus on him because it was an easy way to just say the Lakers this year have not been good. And by my estimation, it was a lot of things, if you will. But if Anthony Davis and LeBron can find a way to not have Russell Westbrook do what he does, and that's be kind of a ball hog from time to time, but continue to have confidence, which is what I feel like Russell Westbrook lost a lot of this season. A lot of Russell Westbrook's game is predicated on confidence and on having an ego. It was lost a little bit when there was trial and tribulations going on in LA. Can he still have that? But understand, this isn't his team. It's LeBron and AD's. And then again, AD needs to stay healthy. If all those things can get figured out, I think LA obviously can win another chip. However, that's a lot of ifs to actually see if it can happen.
It can actually happen. What about you, Perk? What do you think?
Well, hell no. And look, they're going to have to find a way to, coexist before it's them making it work. When we talk about making it work between Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, we're talking about basically championship or bust. And do I see the Lakers winning the championship with those big three after what I just witnessed this past season? No. We can continue to say, we need Russell Westbrook to change. But the fact of the matter is, I believe Russell Westbrook is going on 34 years of age. Yeah. Russell Westbrook is pretty set on who he is as a basketball player. I don't see Russell Westbrook changing. And that's not a bad thing. It's just not a great thing for the Los Angeles Lakers. By the way, LeBron is going to be 38 next year, which we can't say even age no more because he keep proving us wrong, and I get all that. But we just have to realize how better teams are getting, right? Just look overall around the NBA. Teams are getting better. Players are getting better. And by the way, no one is afraid of the Lakers anymore. So when I look at it, yes, they're stuck. They have made this bed, and they have to lay in it. I think they bring the big three back. Do I see them winning the championship with this big three? No, I don't. Not at all.
What if they add a little defense, though? What if they add some defense?
They don't have the space in terms of how the salaries are constructed and how that roster is to really go get any of those things, Shea, that you're asking for. So to me, look, Perk is right, but he's also even more right about the fact that it's going to be these three guys. It's going to be AD, it's going to be Bron, it's going to be Russ. So how are you going to use those three guys? Well, I scoured through the tape on this, and I was trying to find ways to make this thing work. And my best thought is, for one, apply emotion offense. Yeah. Let LeBron have other guys where he doesn't have to shoulder that much of the load alongside these guys. Redefine roles. AD needs to stop trying to be a guy that wants to do all the things that he's capable of doing, clearly, but he's a 5. And he needs to be a 5 like Bam's a 5 for the Miami Heat. He needs to be a rim-running guy. He needs to be a guy that is a screener, dive guy, and then occasionally hunt that other stuff. But he needs to be told, hey, this is going to be the role. Maybe it can help you stay healthier, but it can definitely make you more effective. I took notes here that make, Russ, turn him into a PJ Tucker. I'm just biting everything that the Miami Heat have. have Russ be a guy, which you're not giving him the ball, to be the player that he was this past season. Redefine his role. Have him pursue every loose ball. Make him be a dirty work guy. Work the short corners. Those kind of things. Make him a short roll guy. Take him off handoffs. That can make Russ be more effective And then as for LeBron, you're going to laugh at this, make him like a Kyle Lowry with the Miami Heat, just a quarterback who facilitates, that can go off and obviously do LeBron's type stuff. Kyle Lowry on steroids. You reinvent this thing like that, I think, Perk, you've got at least a building structure of this thing. And oh, by the way, pressure's on this front office to do what Miami's done. Go get G League. Do your homework. Get guys that aren't going to be those, big names with low value. No. You're going to have to work for it. You guys put yourself in this position. Figure out ways to make it happen. You can get creative. I've heard Wendy talk about it. I've heard you talk about it, Perk. There's ways to fix this thing. It requires work and checking egos.
Yeah, see, and that's exactly my point, Perk. Like, I feel like the Lakers are so accustomed to just plug and play, figure it out, the Lake Show, Hollywood, LeBron's here, everything's going to be great, and it's not that way. Like, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board here, and some guys are going to have to make adjustments. And you know what? The great ones will, and Russell Westbrook is going to have to be one of those dudes that figures out it ain't his team anymore.
Well, Shay, I want to piggyback on that one. Oh, sorry, Perk. You want to go?
No. Go ahead.
Well, I want to piggyback on what you mentioned about the ego and how Russell Westbrook no doubt plays good when he has his ego and when he has kind of that going for him. Do you think he gets lost in the mix between LeBron and
No,
AD?
I just thought we saw a lot of, obviously, negative chants towards Russ. He talked about this a lot. He talked a lot about it in his post-game presser. That's not who he's been.
Yeah.
Russ walks around with swag. We always look at his style heading into games. He plays with that swag, and he plays loose, and it was lost a little bit this year in L.A.
Shay, he's the biggest piece that needs to be fixed because he can be fixed.
Yeah,
I believe in Russ. This is a guy that's still capable, Perk.
Yeah.
And I go back to utilizing him in that way. Say, hey, Russ, we got to check the ego, man. You can't have another season like you had last year. You can't be a usage guy like that. DHOs, dribble handoffs, work to be a physical defensive presence, be a loose ball guy, be a guy that can knock down open mid-range when we ask it of you, be a short corner guy. We have to simplify to amplify the ability of Russell Westbrook.
No, I get that, but look, this is what we have to realize. We're not talking about a group of youngsters, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about 3 Hall of Famers. We're talking about guys that have won MVPs, right? And we're talking about actually going in them and holding them accountable and check their ego is a hard task to do for any coach that you bring in, right? So when I look at it, right, I'm looking at Russell Westbrook, him going back to L.A. I think mentally, he wasn't ready for that. From him being born and raised in L.A., going back home, all the pressure, right? Think about it. All the pressure that comes with playing with the Lakers. It's championship or bust when you throw on that uniform. And I don't know if Russell Westbrook wasn't ready for that. This year, he got picked on a lot, rightfully so. He didn't play well. And then all of a sudden, you start hearing those things about, when he was turning basketball into life. And I'm sitting up here saying to myself, no, we're not attacking you, Russell Westbrook, as a person. You're a wonderful human being. We're going at you about what your performance is on the basketball floor. So I'm just trying to figure out, can you change Russ at this point of his career?
So you know what? As you lay it out for me, Perk, I got my wife over here telling me to chill.
I'm like, let him finish. Let him finish.
You ain't quarterbacking over here. I can jump in.
Let him get heated.
To me, and this is why this part that we haven't touched upon is massive. Who's going to be the coach? Who can you get to get those guys to buy in like that? You know who I love? And it's about as far-fetched as it gets? Pop. What if you could get Pop to come in? Here's the reason why I say Pop. And I'm just throwing this out there.
Let's hear it.
Because he has that respect of those guys. They would buy in. Pop's probably done. I get that, obviously. He's moving on. But if you understand that this is a win-now mode for these Lakers, they're old. It's only a 2-year window in reality. You're only asking somebody to pay off that ultimate prize for a 2-year window. So that's how you need to be thinking. It's not a long-term fix.
But, Jay, think about what you just said, right? You just said in order for this to work, the coach that you would need to go get is one of the greatest, if not the greatest coaches of all time, that is like 73 years old, right? That is considered a senior citizen to come in and actually fix this. That's how far it is from making it work. Like if you got to go try to pull a Greg Popovich from a San Antonio Spurs, a place where he has been his entire career, to come in and fix this situation in L.A., then you definitely know it's not going to work. You got a problem.
Issue. That's my biggest issue, Perk, is you should be able to get a Russell Westbrook to say, yeah, how I've been trying to play simply ain't going to work. People talk about disappointment.
Good luck.
We knew this is how Russ was going to try to play. We knew that this is how he's going to play. And if he did, we knew it was going to be clunky. So now you got to pull it back and say, hey, Russ, we can still get a lot of juice out of you. But this is how we need to approach it. AD, you're still one of the top 10 talents in the league. But how it's going now, I think we need to adjust the role. It's still a starring role, and it's still a role for Russ to still be a star in that role. It's how you become a champion again. And I think this group, if they can buy into, hey, we have to tinker with this thing a little bit and let LeBron be LeBron and max out how that is, and that's with the motion offense, and that's with him quarterbacking this thing, they've got a shot. It's just a way to say it's going to be these three. How can we amplify these three? Because the reality is we're riding with them moving forward.
Well, I think we have a lot to keep elaborating on this, too. I think there's also a lot to be discussed this summer, including probably a lot of damage control being done for the Lake Show. And we've got a lot more to discuss in this show. But, Perk, stick around. We're going to have you come right back. But we got to get to Tiger's long-awaited